Hello everybody, this is Frankie Day, back again on YouTube. This evening YouTube I have the final reveal of my historical group build featuring my Winnie Mae in 1/48 scale by Lindbergh. Okay folks, this is the final reveal right here. It's all been painted satin white with blue trim. And I just now finished her, and she's going to dry for a while, and once she's dry, I'll just go ahead and put her in a box and forget about her, and the group builds go on. The Winnie Mae was one kind of an airplane. It was the only. This was the second to Lockheed Vegas. This was the excuse me. This was the last. This was the second of the Lockheed Vegas series that was purchased. Paul J. Getty, the oil man and close friend of Wiley Post, purchased this airplane for Wiley Post. Because Wiley Post took out his left eye. He used to be a roughneck. He worked for Getty Oil, and he lost his eye on the job. And for the settlement, Paul Getty gave him an airplane instead. And so that was the agreement that they made between them both. And of course, Wiley Post was a pioneer and famed aviator. He more or less did a lot of aviation medicine, such as high altitude record going flights. He was quite famous for that. The Winnie Mae was one of the first world cruising aircraft that cruised the world all over. And Amelia Earhart was the second one that tried to achieve that. And her demise was done in 1937. And to this very day, she's still unknown to certainty whatever happened to her and her navigator. And this is a late Winnie Mae here, folks. Right here, here's a stand to give you the kit. I'm going to plug in a little button right there that accepts this little soft wire right here. Looks like solder. That was a great thing Lindbergh did in these type of models back in the days. They had display stands. And we'll zoom in and we'll see it sitting on top of its display stand, which is a nice little stand. It's a simple display stand. The model can be displayed optional either on the stand or on the carriage. As you can see, Lady Susan around, its very brilliance of satin white really shows up on the Winnie Mae. She's a very beautiful one, kind of an airplane. And today she resides at the National Air Space Museum in Washington, D.C. She can be found there. And a lot of history of her is presented as well as a real artifact. This is a Lindbergh re-release box kit, and it's still in production right now. So I don't know how long it's going to be, folks. If anybody's going to get this kit, you better get it, because I got a gut notion that they ain't going to make this model too much longer. It's like any of them. They make so many and they don't make them no more. I was really pleased that Lindbergh bring out some of these old kits I haven't seen since boyhood. And this is the second build I've done of this since 1954 when it first came out. And it's very simple, only 45 parts to the kit, guys. It's very simple. A novice can build this in less than a half an hour. And the decals, which is a real plus with this kit here, folks. If they give you the decals, are really excellent. And they came down real good once you put your decal sets on, whatever you use. I use Walthers. And Walthers is pretty good stuff. And really makes that decals confirm like paint. Really lays it down. Decals went on with no problem. The build was no problem. There was no fit issues at all with the build. Thing went together real well, folks. Real well. And I'm very pleased that this thing turned out like the way I suspected. Only thing I deviated from the kit is I added another pilot to it. The kit's pilot leaves out to desire. There's yours truly. Then we'll go and close the video. A nice little wave off too. Okay, fellas, this is the great Winnie Mae here. This does my end right here for the historic group build. My group build expires on the 1st of August. Those of you who haven't got started yet, I could throw in another 30 days, no problem. Mick, which is old Git across the pond, my good English buddy, he's starting over again, and he got a few things around his house he had to get squared away, and unfortunately his Lancaster got wrecked, and no need to explain on that. It's just things that happen, and so I give Mick another 30 days to start over again, and so he's presenting his group build number 2, the second entry, and this is my first entry in my group build. So right now, guys, I got one of my group builds finished. I got 2 more to go. I got styrene panzers.